Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too, I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity. It changes everything.
Now it's my time. Yeah, don't run too much. Let's wait, man.
Tensions are building quickly in the middleweight division, and at the heart of it are Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plesis. With snappy words, daring forecasts, and implicit threats hanging in the air, this bout isn't merely about rank, it's personal, and the world of MMA is taking note of every action. Dricus Du Plesis recently lashed out in an interview, blasting Khamzat Chimaev for constructing his whole persona on the Chechen wars, and a past that, in DDP's estimation, isn't even his to own. He referred to Khamzat as a character actor, a person playing a role he's not, and charged that all the mystique around him is smoke. Du Plessis had stated that had Khamzat really had his career in mind, he could have been unstoppable, but now he's become what he referred to as a waste of potential. The words were not subtle, and the fire beneath them set social media ablaze, dividing fans instantly into support and outrage.
Do we have a message for Khamzat Chimaev?
I'll see you when I see you. I think he tweeted something. He actually tweeted, because when his tweets make sense, it's his agent, and when it's just like random English words in a certain, it's him, and he said this fight, yeah. Well, I mean, trying to get to a fight, couldn't get the welterweight title, definitely not getting the middleweight title. Like, talk about a waste of potential. That's about it.
And DDP didn't stop there. He proceeded to explain his plans for Khamzat with crystal clarity. As per Du Plessis, the game plan has already begun, and he's preparing to take apart Chimaev's approach step by step. He discussed nullifying the early pressure and bringing Khamzat to deep waters, saying he's sure once it reaches round 2, Chimaev will break down under stress. He guaranteed a tempo Khamzat's never had before, and intimated that there's more to his arsenal than anyone's witnessed so far. For DDP, this isn't merely a battle, it's a mission to debunk a myth.
We've seen him being as exhausted as anybody can be in a 3rd round. This is a 5-rounder. Bring your 1st round. I am going to meet you in the middle, and we are going to wrestle. We can wrestle that 1st round, the whole 1st round. And then we come out in that 2nd round and we'll see what we feel like. And we can wrestle for you have around a minute left in that 2nd round, and then we're going to fight my fight. Then we're going to wrestle on my terms, and then we're going to strike on my terms.
Henry Cejudo fanned the flames when he publicly supported Du Plessis. The Olympic gold medalist and previous 2-division UFC champion said he feels DDP has the perfect combination of pressure, cardio, and discipline to stop Khamzat. Henry complimented Dricus's fight IQ and conditioning, stating those 2 factors in themselves would swing the battle. Emerging from a technician such as Cejudo, the backing provided DDP's corner with a credibility boost, and provided fans more reason to think the hype isn't hollow.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too, I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity. It changes everything.
From Khamzat's side, Michael Venom Page provided a more even analysis. MVP conceded the momentum and champ credentials of DDP, but stated Chimaev's explosive athleticism and wild unpredictability present severe issues. He highlighted the way Khamzat can cover ground in a hurry and combine his wrestling with rash strikes to make him a danger to anyone, particularly early in a bout. While he didn't entirely rule out DDP's prospects, MVP eventually believes that if Khamzat arrives razor sharp and in attack mode, he might shut the fight down before a war of attrition.
I don't see anybody beating him.
I like Khamzat too. I think he's been really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. He looked better in the last fight. Obviously, it didn't last long, so we didn't get to see it. But normally, he's like Crash Bandicoot the first round, and then his energy dips.
DDP has been interesting though.
I feel like Dricus is very underrated for
but
a
that's
belt
the thing.
holder here.
But that's the thing. If anybody was to, it would be Dricus, because that is the muscular endurance. If you look at like some of the fights nowadays, Mirab, Dricus, these guys that have the muscular endurance to be fighting at 7 the whole fight.
Khamzat's old trainer laid thick accolades on his former student. He referred to Chimaev as one of the most disciplined and ruthless athletes he has ever trained. He spoke of Khamzat's relentless training regimen, circling the cage hours a day, no time off, no shortcuts. In his estimation, Khamzat doesn't only fight like a beast, he trains like one as well. He spoke of how Khamzat loves competition and always aims to improve, to get better, faster, stronger. That is what he says sets Chimaev apart and makes him a legitimate threat to the title.
There was an intensity about him. He practices hard, he goes hard. And I think that I liked it. I liked having him, and I really liked having Darren Till with him. Like, Till was a badass. Like,
good energy too.
Great energy. They all fit in right away. They weren't trying to take over. They were there to complement the practices and complement the team. I really liked having Khamzat in there, and a lot of like learning just when you sit back and watch some of his rides that he does, and the way that he anchors on guys, the way he blends his level changes into his striking, his switch stance series stuff. It's all very systematic to his style. I think he understands his routes very well, and it was a joy to watch.
Khamzat Chimaev, on the other hand, seemed completely nonplussed by the headlines and jabs with his mouth. Instead of striking back on social media or in interviews, he was seen training with Arman Sarukian, a training session where he was sparring, honing his tools, and keeping quiet. It was unmistakable. No chatter, just work. Khamzat's team appears intent, tunnel-visioned, and not remotely interested in the drama. His stoicism only serves to enhance the intimidation aspect, as fans now simply wonder what sort of storm he's quietly building behind closed doors. Chael Sonnen couldn't remain silent on this one and chimed in with his own analysis on how the fight will go down. He broke down both fighters' routines and stated that this won't be a plodding chess match. It'll be aggressive, physical, and quick. In the estimation of Chael, the decisive moments will arrive early on when control and pressure reaction will dictate the outcome. He cautioned that if either man is emotionally invested, the better controlled man will win, and he teased about a possible upset.
Said, and I'm going to summarize for you, but that there's going to be an early storm by Chimaev. But he believes Dricus can sustain the storm, and each passing minute favors Dricus. Now, what he's talking about there, without going into detail, is conditioning. That's what he's talking about, that he thinks that Chimaev's energy going to go down a little bit and that Dricus stands strong. Okay.
The MMA guru chimed in, cryptically but enticingly. He stressed that the actual determining element of this bout won't be trash talk or technique. It'll be the mind game and who can establish their rhythm first. He pointed out that while the globe is waiting for knockouts, the most intelligent fighter could potentially take victory through patience. That ambiguous preview has fans arguing vehemently, attempting to guess what precisely Guru envisions in this tempest of a bout.
It's a fight where really, with the Chimaev and Du Plessis thing, it's not will Du Plessis out, like he could, the game is to out wrestle Chimaev, you know what I mean? You're in there and he's wrestling you. Your game is, I want to win this exchange.
Yes.
But I don't know, I feel like Chimaev's fights, it really does become a situation of, okay, is this going to be under 5 minutes? Is this going to be under 5 minutes? Will he finish Du Plessis in round 1? It's not will he beat Du Plessis or will Du Plessis beat him? It's kind of a real game of, does he get Du Plessis out of there early?
Kamaru Usman, always close to high-level talk, announced he's paying close attention to this bout because he desires the victor. With each man presenting so varied a challenge, Usman's interest points up just how critical the result is for the division's future. He complimented both for their perseverance and stated whoever wins would have deserved a go at someone like him. The prospect of Usman going up against either Du Plessis or Chimaev immediately excited fans, paving the way for the victor to be in for even greater stakes.
Win that and go ahead and probably vacate, go up. Myself, Dricus Du Plesis, if he is the champion, or Khamzat Chimaev too, if Dricus is no longer the champion. We do that if Dricus is the champion, we do that in the first card in Africa. I mean, that's another blockbuster. These are back-to-back blockbuster fights that you tell your grandkids about.
And then Khamzat spoke up, but not for an interview or a podcast show. He simply wrote a mysterious post, "My time is now." No details, no names, just that. It was brief, icy, and unmistakably menacing. The steaming rage beneath the words unnerved fans and issued a warning throughout the division. Chimaev doesn't have much to say, but his message gets through. He's not here to talk. He's here to dominate.
Now it's my time. Yeah, don't run too much. Let's wait, man.
Subscribe now for round-the-clock coverage, nuanced analysis, and all of the mayhem the MMA universe has in store. The conflict is on, and you don't want to miss a minute of it.